I'm Judy Paul, Mayor of the Town of Davie, and it gives me great pleasure to thank from the bottom of our hearts for all of us here in Davie, all of the veterans who have served and who are serving now. We love you, we thank you, and we appreciate you beyond words. Thank you for your service, and God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you to all veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you.
Veterans Day tribute video honoring all those who served.
My name is Jose Lugo. I'm the risk manager. I was in the Army and I served for 4 years.
Is there a memory you are most fond of during the time you served?
I had a lot of fond memories, but for me the most fondest is coming home from Iraq. We did a 15-month tour when we first got there in Operation Iraqi Freedom, and coming home was definitely a blessing.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
I think courageous. We're a volunteer army, so anybody who joins the military knows what they're getting into, so they're already have courage of making that decision that they want to do that. So I think courageous would be my description.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
For me, being a veteran means sacrifice, somebody who sacrificed their time, point of their life to keep this country safe.
Veterans Day tribute video honoring all those who served.
My name is Kieran Baddley. I was in the United States Navy for a 4-year term. Currently I work as a firefighter EMT, working on getting cleared as a paramedic. There was one occasion I was attending a school in northern Florida, and there was a flood that came through and damaged a lot of the community. And our base ended up responding out for humanitarian efforts, just helping make sure that everyone's homes were at least habitable until the Red Cross could come in and take the next step in getting the people back into their homes. So that was probably one of the better memories from those years.
What are you grateful for as a veteran?
It was good. It was good to see a larger scale event or activity than we were used to, because normally we just dealt with ourselves. But it was good. It felt like we were giving back in a way, or helping, which that's always nice. But watching the Red Cross come in and their large scale, which was a lot more than we were doing, but it was a good experience, I think, overall.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
Being a veteran means to me just being part of something that's bigger than yourself. I know sometimes that's a common answer given, but I genuinely believe that I think it translates to a lot of things in life, especially here at the fire department. It's learning to be part of a team. It's learning that there's things going on around you that are more important than the individual in itself. So for me, yeah, it's being part of something that's bigger.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
If I had to use one word to describe the armed forces, I would say opportunity.
Veterans Day tribute video honoring all those who served.
Good morning, my name is Allan Wienthal. I am a judge advocate in the Florida Army National Guard, and for the Town of Davie, I am the town attorney, which means I am in-house counsel for the town, servicing all the departments, the department directors, the mayor, the town council, and all appointed officials.
Is there a memory you are most fond of during the time you served?
So when we were in basic training at Fort Benning, we got hit by a hurricane. And being from Florida, it was only a Category 1, so it wasn't a huge deal for those of us from Florida, but we had some people who had never been through a hurricane before. So riding out the hurricane at Fort Benning with some of these people from up north was a fun, interesting experience.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
Being a veteran means giving back to your country and serving America. You know, JFK said it very well. Ask not what your country could do for you, but ask what you could do for your country.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
If I could describe the U.S. Armed Forces in one word, it'd be American.
Veterans Day tribute video, honoring all those who served.
My name is Jose Beauchamp. I work for the Town of Davie as an IT security manager. I've been working for 5 years in the town. My career on the army was the army. I chose the army for 28 years.
Is there a memory you are most fond of during the time you served?
Yes, a lot of memories. Being in the army for 28 years, you have a lot of things to do over there. I was a combat engineer, so construction was my part of the army, what I did. I think the demolition was my favorite part. After that, for the last 10 years of my service, I dedicated to train soldiers. I was tasked to mobilize soldiers, train, send them to the theater, and receive them when they came back.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
Being a veteran means honorable things to do. Working for the nation and dedicate your life for defend the Constitution of the United States. That's the first thing that you do. That's a great thing you can do for a nation.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
I choose brotherhood and sisterhood. I mean both of them because once you are in the military, you got a lot of brothers that serve with you.
Veterans Day tribute video, honoring all those who served.
My name is Gabriel Reis. I served in the U.S. Army, 4 years active duty as an infantryman.
Is there a memory you are most fond of during the time you served?
My most fond memory is my combat deployment to Afghanistan. It taught me a lot. It taught me, the people to your left, to your right of you will do anything for you. No matter what, where you're from, who you are, it's like a brotherhood.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
Being a veteran means that, you're the 1% that stood up and said, yeah, I'll happily defend the country, given my life if necessary.
What are you grateful for as a veteran?
Opportunities were amazing. I mean, talking about the VA home loan, it sets you up for, your career in private industry. I mean, it set me up for my career being a police officer. It's just a great resume builder, and, they even pay for college. So there's so many pluses about coming out and serving.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
If I can describe the U.S. Armed Forces in one word, definitely be humbling. You're surviving off of, not a lot of food. You're living out of negative 30-degree weather. You're sleeping in the snow. You're fighting a war. So it's definitely humbles you, especially seeing people in other countries not as fortunate enough to have what we have here. So it definitely humbles you.
Veterans Day tribute video, honoring all those who served.
Hi, I'm Ronald Bolton, and I'm the Assistant Director of Utilities for the Town of Davie, and I served in the U.S. Air Force Reserves from 1984 to 1990.
Is there a memory you are most fond of during the time you served?
My fondest memories of serving in the Air Force was the people I met. It was such a diverse group. I had my best two friends. One was from Little Rock, Arkansas, and the other one was from Trinidad. And although we were very different, we also shared so many things in common.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
Being a veteran to me means service and sacrifice. And when I entered, it was 1984. It was right after the Iran hostage situation in the middle of the Cold War. So each of us knew that we may be called to defend the country, and we knew what that meant, but we did it anyway. We were a volunteer force.
What are you grateful for as a veteran?
As an 18-year-old going into the military, it was, I was looking for purpose and a little bit of adventure, and the Air Force gave me opportunity for both of those. And the military side of it was secondary, but it was always there in your mind that we knew that that might be a call. And I had my dad was in the Navy, and my older brother at the time was serving in the Marine Corps. So it was much closer to home for him as far as having to maybe give his life than it was for me as somebody in the Air Force, but it was still something that we thought about.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
The U.S. Armed Forces, in one word to me, is patriotic. The people that do it are patriots. They love their country, they volunteer, they serve, and that's how I feel.
Veterans Day tribute video, honoring all those who served.
My name is Richard Butler. I work for Town of Davie in the IT department, and I was in the United States Air Force. I did 20 years in the Air Force. I retired the Air Force.
What are you grateful for as a veteran?
Can't say that it was all fun, but for the most part it was fun. I enjoyed being in the Air Force because I got to see the world. I traveled a lot. I got to see parts of the world that the average person will never see, which was very intriguing to me to be able to see these things.
Is there a memory you are most fond of during the time you served?
The memory most fond of is probably Japan, even though I've seen several countries from Russia to Greece to Korea I've been around the world several times. But Japan, I lived there for 4 years. One of my kids was born in Japan, and she has a Japanese birth certificate, which she's very fond of herself. But Japan was a good place. I got to see a different culture that I've never witnessed before, and it was great. I enjoyed the whole time I was in Japan.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
Being a veteran means serving your country. I think everybody needs to do their part. Everybody doesn't have to be in the military, because there are civilians that do their part as far as the military goes too. But I felt my part was being in the military, and that's why I joined the military, to do my part.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
Armed Forces in one word would be military. Military would be to help our allies, help them with their military, and they help us with ours also. They will give us clues or tips that maybe we didn't know, and we help them out too.
Veterans Day tribute video, honoring all those who served.
My name is Jose Luis Rivas. I served in the U.S. Armed Forces for a period of 8 years, from 1990 to 1998.
What does being a veteran mean to you?
Ser veterano para mí, en una sola palabra, significa agradecer a este país por todo lo que me ha dado.
Is there a memory you are most fond of during the time you served?
Fond memory while serving in the military was when my unit was sent to Fort Clinton in Panama City. Over there we had to fix repairs buildings that were damaged during the Panama invasion. During the summer it was very humid. I remember when we arrived at the airport, the bus driver that was taking us to the base tell us, hope you guys like rain, because over here it rains every day during the rainy season. So I didn't believe it until I was there for a few days, of course, and sure enough, it rained every day because of the humidity, very humid.
What are you grateful for as a veteran?
It was amazing to see the way this the canal was built, and look at all the details that took to build it.
How would you describe the U.S. Armed Forces?
One word for me would be respectable, because to me it's one of the most respected armed forces in the world. So anywhere you go and you have a U.S. Armed Forces uniform, you are respected.